Hello, my fellow Alaskans. We are back. We have just finished the arraignment hearing inside of the courthouse here at the Kenai, Alaska, for the state of Alaska versus Margaret Murphy for the perjury. They appeared only by Zoom. They were not in the courthouse. There was 53 Alaskans. Let me say that one more time. 53 Alaskans that showed up in support of this case against Margaret Murphy, and it was a phenomenal showing here at the courthouse and in the courtroom here today. And you only could participate virtually on this one through their Zoom. You cannot watch it anywhere else, and their Zoom only goes as long as they are in session inside of the courthouse. Other than that, you can't re-watch this Zoom. You can't re-watch what happened in the courtroom today. But there was nobody in the courtroom on her side of this. But for the state of Alaska, those that are bringing the perjury charges against Margaret Murphy, the courtroom was packed full of supporters supporting the Alaska grand jury in their investigations and what they're doing, and trying to make sure that the court understands that their manipulation of our grand jury rights that they had done with the Code 1993, the rule that they had changed, Rule 1993, and we want our laws put back the way they were before they started manipulating things to put the power and control into their own hands. Our Alaska judicial branch is extremely corrupt, and we Alaskans know it, and it is up to each and every one of us to stand strong. All the links are provided up above to where you can find out all the information you may want about this current case and what happened here today. We really do appreciate it if you like and share this video. You can find it on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble in a few hours, and of course when we're live, always can find it live on our website at Politadick.com. And while you're at Politadick, please click that support button. All proceeds go right back into what we're doing. The next trial for this hearing will be on August 11th. And if you're not getting all of this right now, don't worry. I plan on re-uploading these videos. Again, the internet connection here is absolutely atrocious and may not be getting much of this going through. I just wanted to make sure everybody got an update on what is going on. Margaret Murphy has put in a not guilty plea against the charges that are placed against her for perjury. And again, the next trial hearing will be on August 11th. And the judges stated while we were in there that it will only be available to see and hear what is going on if you're not able to be here on their State of Alaska Gov website for watching the Zooms inside of the courthouse. The link to that is in the video description above. So if you need to know where you need to go to find that information or to be able to watch the Zoom live on August 11th, that is where you can go. I am going to see if maybe I can get a release of the audio and the video of this, but I think there's going to be strings attached to where they're not going to allow it to be broadcasted on the airwaves, that they'll just let me have a copy of it, but it will be, I have to not share it anywhere. So I took a bunch of still shots while I was in there inside of the courtroom, a bunch of shots of the Zoom. I have been given permission by the courts to do that. That is as close as I get for permissions coming from them. Other than alternative media, mainstream media did not show up for this here today. And it was very obvious that their understanding or what they wanted to have known about this particular case, that their interest in it, it definitely wasn't where it needed to be. We needed people to see this on the mainstream side of things, and they're keeping radio silent, unfortunately. But there was 53 Alaskans that showed up for this, showing support for this trial that is happening and the continued support for the Alaska grand jury and what they have been doing and accomplishing, and why their powers are so important to each and every one of us. There are so many things in this world right now that we could be investigating out there that they are preventing from happening. And it takes each and every one of us to stand strong, stand united to protect our constitutional rights, which our government has weaponized themselves against us and them, trying to take them all away. and we need to stand strong and fight for those rights. It's very easy to lose them, nearly impossible to get them back once we have. Take a moment again, like and share this video. Go to our website, politadick.com, and click that support button. Currently, I'm in the middle of my own lawsuit protecting our rights against our weaponized government and the political puppet masters out there that love to control our elections, those who choose who will be sitting on our school boards, our community councils, our assemblies, hell, even on the, like, say, Matanuska Electrical Association and who sits on those boards. These people have their fingers tied up into everything for the positions that have any power and control in our state. And we need to expose them for who they are, whether they are, no matter what side of the fence they're on, if they're a Democrat, Republican, an independent, a libertarian, I don't care, an undeclared like me. We need to make sure that folks out there know about the corruption, what those puppet masters will do to get their puppets elected, and how they utilize their puppets when they want to weaponize them against folks like me, and it was others like you. And it's very apparent when you look at, say, what recently happened at a town hall and what happened out there in front. I live streamed the beginning of that, and I have a lot more stuff that will be coming out of it. But a sitting senator in Juneau was weaponized against us here at Politadick, and they tried to strong arm us into silence. It's not going to happen. Again, it takes each and every one of us to stand strong. We're here at the Kenai Courthouse for the Alaska Grand Juries Association and for the Alaska Grand Jury that has put together a lawsuit, the indictments that went against Margaret Murphy, a past sitting judge, and for perjury charges was the indictments. The court decided to pursue those charges and this is the arraignment hearing for that, where Margaret Murphy has pled not guilty to the charges in front of her, and the next case will be on August 11th here at the Kenai Courthouse, and hopefully you guys can either show up. We had a huge crowd show up here today, 53 people. It is amazing the amount of support that we got in the courtroom today. Thank you all once again for being here. Let me see if I can maybe get an interview here real quick with David Haig. Anything else you'd like to say, David?
Where do you do it right here?
Right here's fine. I would just love to hear in terms of, organizing this today. What do you think motivated so many people to turn out to this arraignment?
I think for decades now, people have been getting suspicious of the court system and our judicial system, and more people have realized that there may be something going wrong. And when they filed complaints, they were never really looked at. And then when we found that grand juries were the entity or the way that the people who wrote Alaska's Constitution wanted the public to be able to have oversight of government, and grand jury looked into allegations of corruption and ended up indicting a former judge for, I believe, what she did while she was on the bench. And so I think this is validation for the Alaska public that indeed there is something wrong, and it may be very, very wrong.
And how are you reacting to the not guilty plea?
It's what I expect. It's what happens in all cases. Normally you never plead guilty. You try to get some advantage for pleading guilty or whatever down the line. One of the things that I hope is coming down the pike is that I actually gave evidence to the grand jury, testified to them twice, and Margaret Murphy is the judge who I had evidence of that was covered up for by Marla Greenstein, the judge investigator. And so my hope is that if it's proven that indeed Margaret Murphy, there was something wrong with her, why did the judge investigator, who I gave the same evidence to, exonerate her over a decade ago? And since that lady, Marla Greenstein, has done 8,000 other judge investigations, it should raise a great question in the public's mind whether there are other judges in the 8,000 that she's covered up for. And so my hope is that this is just the beginning of whatever, you know, the can of worms or whatever, however people want to look at it.
And how do you plan to stay involved as this case progresses?
Just to try to inform the public of what's going on and encourage them to show up and watch these proceedings like they did today, and to talk about it with their friends, and to realize that there actually is something wrong. You know, because for years, the greatest hindrance I and others that knew something was wrong had was everybody just said you have sour grapes, or it's all just in your mind, it's your conspiracy theories. But it's not. A grand jury, and I don't know if you know this grand jury has now been investigating for about exactly a year, and they're still going on. And the witness list that was put out with the indictment, it has many people that aren't just for what happened with Margaret Murphy, but for other people like Marla Greenstein and others. And so, like I said, it may be just the beginning of a very, very large thing. I don't know. Maybe it'll end with this, but I don't believe so. So that's my belief and my hope that that all the dirty laundry gets aired. They don't just pull out one T-shirt or a sock or whatever and say, hey, this was dirty and we got it clean. I think they need to look at the whole thing.
Well, thank you, David. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just that people should now realize how very important grand juries are, and that they have the ability to investigate outside of what they're told to investigate or indict from government officials, and that they should, people when they become a grand juror, or even if they're not on a grand jury, they should know that when they become a grand juror, they are in control. They get to decide what they investigate, no matter what judges say, no matter what prosecutors say, no matter what Alaska State Troopers say. In fact, grand juries, that's the people they're supposed to investigate. Grand jury is supposed to investigate judges, prosecutors, troopers, because those entities won't ask the grand jury to investigate them, those people, because they're the ones that are normally telling the grand jury what to investigate. And that's a critical failing that's happened in Alaska. Over 30 years, that was lost. They rewrote the grand jury handbook to kind of hide all that information from the grand jurors. And we the people need to keep that alive, because if we don't, the government will just want it to go away because they don't want to be investigated.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, thank you, my fellow Alaskans, for being here today. It is phenomenal that you guys have all shown up. You just heard from David Haig giving a great breakdown of what this investigation is all about. And we really do appreciate it. And again, once again, thank you all for being here. Let me see if I can maybe get one more person on camera and see if they want to say a few words. If not, we will wrap this up. You can find this on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and all the social media channels. Hold on just one second. Let me see if I can get permission here.
It's crazy that they have In my last year, after anything the government does, online
Thank you all for being here. I was hoping to be able to get maybe a few words from Sarah Vance here about what is going on and maybe her take on what the issues are. She's got a constituent in front of them that's currently talking about their issues that they're facing with the court system and something that had happened in their past and wanting to help to get some sort of resolution towards that. Again, thank you guys all for being here. If you haven't liked and shared this will be reshared again here later on. I'm going to make sure there is a clean copy of this uploaded. Internet connection here is really sketchy and it's having a hard time keeping reception, so you may not be getting all of the conversation that is going on, but I've got a full recording of this being made as we speak that will be uploaded as soon as I get to a solid internet connection to be able to do that and make sure that you guys all get to hear and see what happened uncut, unedited. And we're at the Kenai Courthouse here, and we just got done listening to the arraignment hearing of Margaret Murphy, the former judge of the Kenai here, and who is up on perjury charges. She pled not guilty to all of the charges that she is currently facing here in the courthouse, and the next hearing will be on August 11th, and again, that will only be available for if you can't be here to participate through the courthouse Zoom, which is provided in the links that are in the description above on this video. Click on that link, it'll take you to where the Zoom live is located at, and when the court hearing is going on, you can always watch it live at that link. And just type in Kenai and then the judge's name of Matthews, and it should pull up the hearing. When they are live, once it's over with, though, you cannot get a recording of this unless you go and request it from the courthouse. And I don't believe they're allowing it to be reshared again, even if you do that for the audio and video in the courtroom. The courtroom itself, they did not have the Zoom or the television that should have had the Zoom broadcasting it on the top there. There was no television running, so I had to go to the actual Zoom as it was happening to snapshots of Margaret Murphy and both of the attorneys representing in this case on each side, and got a couple there in the courtroom itself. A total of 53 Alaskans showed up for this in support of this investigation and this indictment that has been placed against Judge Margaret Murphy, and to show their support of what the Alaska Grand Jury Association is doing out there. And you can find all the links to relevant information about this case and many other things that the Alaska Grand Jurors Association is doing in the description above. So please take a moment, like, share this video. It is greatly appreciated. I am going to go ahead and cut this off right here, unless, let me just double check. I'm going to be a little bit ruder this time. Just 1 second.
But
Okay, my fellow Alaskans, thank you guys all for being here today. Again, we're at the Alaska Kenai Courthouse for the case that was for Margaret Murphy, State of Alaska versus Margaret Murphy. The charges that was brought against the indictment of her for perjury. And the next court hearing for this will be on August 11th of this year, and you'll be able to watch it virtually on Zoom at the court website .gov there. The link in this is in the description to be able to participate that way. They rejected all press's ability to be able to stream this live from inside of the courtroom, so the only way to participate is either through the Zoom or to show up here at the courthouse like we did here today. Margaret Murphy pled not guilty to the charges that are up against her right now. You can find this video on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, and you'll find it later on Rumble. I'm going to upload an unedited full version of this video because the internet connection here is making it really choppy and you're probably not getting everything right now. And so look for that to come out here a little while later on today. And thank you guys all for being here and participating. And don't forget to like and share. One last thing, go to our website at Politadick.com, click that support button. We need your support. All proceeds go right back into paying for the cost to say, drive here to Kenai today to be able to be here for this. To show up at the Birchwood Books there in Matsu when they were having the drag queen story hour. You want to see me at events, I need your support to be able to make that happen. The services using to restream these type of broadcasts cost, websites cost money, so does the gas to get to these places cost money, and majority of everything I've done has always been out of out of my own pocket, and I don't mind that too much, but I would love to turn this into a career. I would love to be able to find a bunch of people in Alaska that I can send cameras to do and do like OMG Media, the O'Keefe Media Group is doing right now, turn each and every one of us into citizen journalists, pay you for your time to live stream, say, an assembly meeting, a community council meeting, a school board meeting that's in your general area. It might be in Ketchikan, Kenai, Juneau, Anchorage, someplace I'm not able to make it to. I'll send you a camera. I'll pay you to do it. But without supporters helping me to be able to support people out there to do this, it's just not going to be possible. So make that happen. Go to our website, Politadick.com. Click that support button. All proceeds go right back into what we're doing here. And currently we're in the middle of a lawsuit that I'm sure you guys are all aware of in our court. We will be in court next month. I've had to retain an attorney for that, and I'm still trying to raise up the money to be able to pay for that attorney. They're working with me for payments, and I really do appreciate your guys' support, that those who have already donated towards this lawsuit. It is really appreciated. They have weaponized our government against us. The puppet masters here in Alaska that manipulate our elections are hard at work to elect those that they want sitting on school boards, community council members, state legislators, those that go to DC, governor, you name the board. It could be even the Electrical Association. These puppet masters work hard to make sure their puppets are put into position to make the decisions that affect each and every one of us, and they need to be exposed for who they really are. Start listening to the majority of Alaskans, not the minority that are paying for their campaigns to put them in the office and then only answer to them once they get there. We need free-thinking Alaskans to be seated in these positions, people that are going to actually work for all Alaskans, not the minority that are paying for them, the puppet masters that are paying for them to be there. Thank you all once again for being here. Like and share. Thank you.